everyone. Welcome back to X-Rays, where we take a look at industry evolution through the eyes of those creating change and innovation. I'll be your host, Rosalie, for this online show where we'll discuss and learn the latest, most exciting developments from industry leaders, pioneers, and innovators who are shaping the future. Today, we'll be speaking with Joel Fernet. He is the CTO of travelfund.biz, an award-winning host travel agency. Travelfund.biz specializes in training programs for agents, having produced the world's first AI for travel agents program, which focuses on training agents worldwide on how to use AI to generate leads and become more efficient and automated. So without further ado, let us meet our guest. Joel, how are you doing today?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm fantastic. Yeah.
Glad to have you back here on our show to talk some more. So, in an era where people click book now on Expedia or let AI chatbots plan their trips, how did travelfund.biz not only survive but thrive by going in the opposite direction, doubling down on human connections and personalized services?
That's a great question. Okay, well, let me take you back a moment. It was 2019. Expedia had essentially trained the world on click and go, right? Book your own travel. And even AI chatbots were beginning to pop up everywhere, telling you where to eat, what to wear, and apparently how to have fun, right? But there we were, my wife Shelby and I, launching travelfund.biz. And you think we're crazy, but here's the thing. So we were betting on people. So we believe that behind every booking, there's a why, like a widow taking her first solo cruise, or a retiree celebrating their bucket list adventure, or a single parent showing their kids the world. So there's something that an algorithm can't fully understand, right? So our approach on this, era of digital everything, our approach was radically human first. So Shelby, with her 500 plus hosted cruises under her belt, brought her heart. And I, being, in the tech, in the IT, I brought the tech and the AI smarts, but always with people first filter. All right. So we didn't fight Expedia. We didn't compete with AI chatbots, right? We created something they couldn't replicate, like connection. So our training program, although has AI included, right? But we weren't just about systems, teaching someone how to book a cruise. We do teach you how to book a cruise on the system. But they were about helping agents listen better, empathize more, and then yes, use the AI tools to scale their success and save time and less effort without sacrificing their soul, right? And then came COVID, so everything stopped. But we didn't. We pivoted, social media services, web design, AI, upskilling. So we adapted fast because we weren't married to one solution. We were committed to our mission, which is serve people. And so fast forward today, we won the 2025 Lux Life Award as leading travel agency AI training specialists. And our agents, they're not afraid of tech. They're empowered by tech, right? Because we never said AI will replace you, but we said let AI enhance you. So the lesson there is never forget the power of people, because whenever everyone else is automating, personalizing is a superpower.
Mm, absolutely, yeah. That makes complete sense. And, it's quite the journey that you've been on as well. And we talked about that journey in our previous conversation about, COVID-19 and how that really affected you as a business as well. The travel industry hit a wall, borders closed, planes grounded. So you pivoted into web design, social media, and remote tech. I'd love to know more about what fueled your adaptability and how did that shift lay the groundwork for your AI revolution later?
Right. Okay. That's another great question. So it was like it's March 2020, right? And I'm sitting on my desk, and the phone is silent, the inbox is like empty. The travel industry didn't just slow down, like it poof, evaporated, right? So one minute we're coordinating river cruises in Europe, right? Luxury getaways, and the next we're just canceling everything, like even hope, it felt like, right? Now, some folks curled into a ball, but we cracked open a whiteboard, said to Shelby, okay, if people aren't traveling, what do they need, right? Turns out, everything was going online. Everyone needed a website. Everyone needed social media, and social media was the new like mainstream. So we fired up WordPress. We pivoted hard, and within weeks, we were helping agents and small businesses build brands instead of bookings. So we became accidental marketing agency owners, like remote technical consultants and like Zoom whisperers. Um, we went from being a travel CTO to like a part-time meme designer. That was wild. But like, here's the twist, right? So the pivot unlocked something huge, right? It trained us to think digitally first. Wasn't brick and mortar travel agency. It was on, everything was online. So I began building automations, AI workflows, testing tools long before AI wave hit headlines. Um, this set the stage for like my biggest leap, which was developing the world's first AI travel agent training program in 2023. And we taught agents not only how to survive, but thrive in a tech-led industry, tech-led world. So COVID didn't crush us, it converted us. So
Mm.
don't fear the pivot. The detour might just be the launch pad for your next big thing. Sometimes survival looks like reinvention, and reinvention becomes innovation.
Mm. That's a it's a really inspiring journey that you've had then as well. You've really built from the obstacles that have come your way, and that's always really inspiring to hear about. And your journey as well. You've gone from travel tech entrepreneur to being appointed as the Enterprise AI Strategy Advisory Board at People2Go Inc. It's remarkable to hear about. So, how did decades of relationship building lead to this leadership role? And what does that say about the irreplaceable power of human networking in the digital world?
Hmm. Okay, for this story, we gotta go in the way back time machine, so rewind to 2002. And I was a young field technician for People to Go, crawling under desks and swapping out point of sale machines in Canadian retail stores and banks in and around Montreal. It was humble work, but I gave it everything, because serving others, so having servant's heart has always been my default setting, right? But fast forward 20 years, right? And the same guy who hired me, Chris Collins, my fellow CBI college alumni, right? He had become the president of the company, People to Go. And we'd stayed connected through the years. So he saw me climb through the IT ladder, lead multi-million dollar projects at Massage Addict and Hair Club, and launched the award-winning AI training tools for travel agents. And then in just late 2024, he called and said, Joel, we need someone to lead our AI strategy advisory board. You're the guy. So that moment, like that wasn't built by LinkedIn, right? It was built by loyalty, trust, and old school like relationships matter mentality. So even in the digital age, right? So I was honored. People to Go is one of the top 100 companies to work for in Canada, and now I get to help shape their entire AI future while juggling my other ventures. And how? Well, because AI amplifies what I can do. I can do the work of 20, 30 people. I feel most people could and enhance their efforts that way. But I'm not working harder, I'm just working smarter with digital agents, digital assistants, automated workflows, like freeing up my time, right? But let's be clear, none of that technology replaces relationships.
Mm.
So AI can do a lot of things, but it can't shake a hand. You can't build a bond over decades. So invest in yourself, invest in people, connections. That's the long term. That's the ultimate long term return on investment.
I absolutely agree. And you were early to the blockchain boom, and now you're ahead of the curve with AI, with published research, books, and an award-winning training program, as you've mentioned throughout. And what signs did you see that others missed, and how can entrepreneurs prepare for the next tech revolution?
What signs? Yeah, I've been asked that a few times before. Well, let me start by saying I always have a bit of like tech FOMO, right? So if there's like a digital gold rush, I want to be there with the pickaxe, like. So when blockchain started heating up, I dove in not to chase crypto coins, but to understand the architecture, a bit of a geek, right? The decentralization, the transparency of it all, the revolution behind it, the financial revolution behind it. But it reminded me of the early stages of the internet. So kind of taught me how to spot the pattern shifts, the paradigm shifts in technology. So when AI started creeping into mainstream tools around 2021, so I knew we were at the base of another mountain. While most people were, just playing around with chatbots and, editing jokes or stuff, I was writing my first research paper on human-centric AI. So by 2022, I was prototyping tools a lot in the agency. By 2023, I had published 2 books on Amazon, built automated workflows, launched the world's first AI training program for the travel agents. So I wasn't just dipping my toe in, I did a full cannonball, right? And what did I see? So what were the signs? Well, I saw that I feel AI wouldn't replace humans, it would replace tasks. And the entrepreneur who can identify and offload those tasks would move faster, further, and be freer, right? So that's the time freedom you want is to liberate yourself from tasks. So the entrepreneur today, you can't afford to wait for the memo, right? You've got to look for these asymmetries, like what's inefficient, what's annoying, what's repetitive. That's where the tech wins.
Mm,
So kind of like surfing, don't wait until the wave hits you in the face. You know there's a wave coming, learn to read the tides, and then catch the wave.
mm,
Tech revolutions, they don't start with headlines. That's after the fact. You got to see the quiet opportunities.
absolutely. Well, that's a great way of putting it as well. I think that's a very helpful way to
I
visualize
saw myself surfing there for a minute. It's like, wow,
it.
right?
So, as well as in terms of, you yourself from active roles in your local Chamber of Commerce to global AI strategy boards, how has staying deeply connected to people been your greatest advantage in building a future-proof business like travelfund.biz?
Okay, but let me tell you something funny, right? So they often assume that because I build AI agents and write algorithms or automate workflows, that I must be some kind of, digital hermit coding in a cave. But it could be further from the truth. Like I thrive on connections, um, real people at real events, going out to dinners, going out to conferences with a booth and a table and shaking hundreds of hands and talking to people, really having a servant's heart in the service industry and then being in the IT career. That's really the odd combination there. But you're just as likely to find me at a local Chamber of Commerce breakfast, shaking hands with local business owners. As you would find me, up at night, AI prompts, writing AI prompts at midnight. But that's by design for me, right? Because like, what's the point of building a big digital future if you're not going to be rooted with connected to people? So when COVID hit, it wasn't the code that saved us; it was the community. So while AI kept us efficient and kept us as a niche, it was people first who kept us afloat, right? Fellow entrepreneurs, the chamber partners, getting advice, leaning on people, clients that turned into friends. Those relationships were our lifeline. So being embedded locally gave us relevance, gave us connections. Being forward thinking globally gave us reach, and that mix is like it's unbeatable. But now I serve on the Enterprise AI Strategy Advisory Board for people to go. So I'm carrying those same values to a national stage, and we're really in alignment that it's people first. They're not out to replace people with AI. They're really out to enhance their customer service and enhance their employees through AI. And whether it's small town networking or high level strategy, human connection is like the killer app. So if you want to future proof your business, don't just upgrade the tech, upgrade your relationships. The algorithms will change, but the trust and the connections that's what endures.
Absolutely. Well, that's really great advice to give as well, and I think it's very valuable to our listeners here at X-Rays. So, thank you so much for talking to us today, Joel. It was really interesting to hear all about your business and the journey that you've been on, and the challenges that you've faced as well. So, thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure again. Thanks.
Absolutely. And to our listeners at X-Rays, thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Rosalie, and I'll see you next time.